Good morning, children. In the previous class, we had completed all about your acids, bases, and other things. Now today we will start about salts. Salts. What are salts? Salt is a compound. It is compound, not an element. It is a compound. It is a compound formed from an acid. What happens? It is a compound formed from an acid by the replacement of hydrogen in the acid. Whatever, now like HCl, H is replaced and Na is brought. So here NaCl is your compound which is a salt. Okay. So what happens? In an acid, hydrogen is replaced by an metal, and then a compound which is formed. That compound is called as salt. Got it? Okay. Now, salt, when we talk about salt, what comes in your mind? Directly, common salt which is used by your mother in cooking. Only that comes in your mind? No. That is salt. That is NaCl. But when we are talking here about salt, it is just not that common salt which we are using. That is actually common salt. NaCl is common salt when we simply say about. It is a compound, I told, it is a compound in which hydrogen is replaced from an acid, in which hydrogen is replaced by a metal in the acid. Now, I had also told you in the previous class about neutralization reaction. What is neutralization reaction? When acid reacts with base, what is formed? Salt is formed. Salt and water is formed. So, acids, when react with bases, salts are formed. Now, what are the different type of salts? I told you about NaCl is a salt. What do you call it as? Sodium chloride. Okay. If it is replacing hydrogen is replaced by magnesium, what it is called? Magnesium chloride. If sodium replaces some other acid, I have taken only HCl. Instead of HCl, I take some other acid, like one by one each I'll see. HCl, the compounds are called as chlorides. NaCl, sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, potassium chloride. So there are various chlorides. Now if it is replacing hydrogen is sulfuric acid, H2SO4. H2SO4 is your sulfuric acid. If hydrogen of sulfuric acid is replaced, it is called as sulfate. Sodium sulfate, potassium sulfate, calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, ammonium sulfate. All these are sulfates. Now this is nitric acid, HNO3. Here hydrogen is replaced, nitrates are formed. Sodium nitrate, potassium nitrate, calcium nitrate. Various compounds of by replacing the metal by nitric acid, nitrates are formed. Carbonic acid, H2CO3. H2CO3 is your carbonic acid. H2CO3 is your carbonic acid. The compound forms are called as carbonates. Now, carbonic acid in this hydrogen when replaced, sodium carbonate, potassium carbonate. So, this way. Now, CH3COH is acetic acid. The compound forms are acetate, sodium acetate, potassium acetate. So, these way the compounds are called. For hydrochloric acid, it is chlorides. For sulfuric acid, it is sulfates. For nitric acid, it is nitrates. Compounds are called as, in the name you will have sodium chloride, potassium chloride. At the end you will have this chloride, sulfate. For nitric acid, you will have nitrates. Carbonic acid, you will have carbonates. Acetic acid, you will have acetates. So, these are the compounds which are formed from various acids. Now, next about your family of salts. Family of salts on the basis of pH. You had studied in the previous class about pH. So, family of salts, there are three different types of salts. Basic salt, acidic salt and neutral salt. Basic salt, I told you what will be the pH? pH will be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Greater than 7. If the pH is greater than 7, then it is basic salt. pH is less than 7, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is your acidic salt. And if the pH is 7, it is neutral salt. Now how is this basic salt formed? See, basic, from the word basic you see, means you should have strong base. Unless and until you will have strong base, basic will not be there. So strong base plus weak acid. The other substance is acid, that should be weak. Strong base plus weak acid. What it will be formed? Basic salt. Base, so strong should be base. Base should be strong. Got it? Weak acid plus strong base gives you basic salt. Whereas acidic salt, it is acidic. So what should be strong? Yes, you're right. It should be strong acid. When acid is strong and the other one is base, so base should be weak. Strong should be acid. Strong acid plus weak base gives you acidic salt. Got it? The example of basic salt is Na2CO3. See this, Na2CO3. How you will identify whether this is a basic salt? It is Na2CO3, means it is carbonate. So carbonate is formed from carbonic acid. Now what is carbonic acid? Carbonic acid is a weak acid. And Na, so NaOH, it means that NaOH is your strong base. So NaOH, it is formed from what? Na2CO3 is formed from NaOH for Na, and for CO3 it is H2CO3. H2CO3 is a weak acid and this is your strong base, so it is basic salt. Got it? Now acidic salt, example NH4Cl. NH4Cl, looking at Cl only you will put in mind directly HCl. Oh yes, HCl means strong acid, but then see NH4. What is NH4? NH4 is ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide, it is weak base. So weak base, strong acid, you will have acidic salt. Got it? Ammonium hydroxide plus HCl will give you NH4Cl, that is ammonium chloride, that is acidic salt. Got it? Now neutral salt, which is very common, that is what is formed. You have studied it continuously many times. NaOH. NaOH is your strong base plus HCl. It is strong acid. So neutral will be formed as strong acid, strong acid. HCl is strong acid and NaOH is strong base. So strong acid, strong base. Both should be strong. Both should be strong, both should be weak. One should not be strong and weak. In case of strong and weak, it is something else. It is basic and acidic. Both strong or both weak. So these both are strong. What is formed? NaCl. NaCl plus H2. So this is your neutral salt. NaCl, which you call it as common salt, is a neutral salt. Its pH is 7. Got it? So again, I'll just repeat it again. The salts of HCl are called chloride. Salts of sulfate of sulfuric acid is called sulfate. Salts of nitric acid, nitrate. Salt of carbonic acid, carbonate. Salt of acetic acid, acetate. Remember, this is important to write the names. And then the different types of salt: basic salt, acidic salt, neutral salt, basic salt, strong base plus weak acid. Acidic salt, strong acid plus weak base. Examples, you have Na2CO3 and H4Cl. Neutral, strong acid, strong base, you get neutral salt having pH equal to 7. For acidic, pH less than 7. For basic, pH greater than 7. So this is all about salts. More about salts, different various salts which we have to study and how it is formed and the uses we'll be studying in the next class. Okay, for today it's enough. Thank you.